Folks, welcome to another stream. Hope everybody is well. I am just going to set my chat up with any luck. Here we go. How's it sound? Testing 1 2 3. How's that sound? Internet, please work. Hey Telar, how you doing? How's that sound? How's that sound? Testing 1 2 3. How's that sound? How's that sound? That sounds okay. Testing 1 2 3. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. That will do. Lovely. Rob, good to see you. Right, let's just oh, hang on. Okay. David, good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Right. Let's just right, bear with me just while we get things set up. Let me just try the other channel here, all messages. And there we go. All right. Hello, Mark. How you doing? Jeff. Good to see you. So what I thought I'd do today is some DR Games updates, let you know how I'm getting on. And then why not have a little journey into the Crypt of the Sorcerer. That's a new one they've released fairly recently, as in online. It's book 26, so it was released quite a while ago now. But yeah, no, I don't know this one at all or have played it before as far as I'm aware. I think I had the book, but I don't remember anything about it. Yeah, I don't think people really know that one very much at all, so that would be good to get it on there. I think so, anyway. We'll just let a few people trickle in. There's quite a selection on here now. I have, in the past, played a few of these live. Now, I have a bad habit, maybe, of not carrying on the adventure. I'm going to try and remedy that and just try and finish off the book that I'm playing at the time when I do a Fighting Fantasy session, which can be like once a month. I think it's been longer than a month since I did one. But they're quite fun to do. It's a little bit of a homage to the inspiration that they have been for me, and you know, they tie into my games on some level. So yeah, I've done the live all messages on there, so that is good. Always worth putting out there, though. I don't know why they do that. Seems very weird. In any case, yeah. So we did Freeway Warrior, Freeway Fighter. I think the only one with Star Trek Traveller we died in, I think. Lizard King I'm not sure about, but I can't remember. I think we did Appointment. Did we do Appointment of Fear? Scorpion Swamp we played and we've finished. So we've done one of these. There's the Eye of the Dragon. There's a few here. Weirdly, I haven't got the Warlock of Heartup Mountain. I think I've got to do a special stream where I play through the Warlock of Heartup Mountain at some point. But I haven't actually bought it, which is weird. It's definitely my favourite. Did we try the House of Hell? I feel like I'm saving that one for... Yeah, I won the Swamp. The House of Hell I'm saving for Halloween, I feel. That'd be a good Halloween one. Although we will naturally be doing the next Halloween special from 2D6 World. Yeah, so I don't really know anything about the Crypt of the Sorcerer. I seem to remember getting stuck in a loop on one. Yeah, that. The Snow Witch. That was the Snow Witch. That was cruel. It really was very cruel. So there are a few things that I thought I'd mention. It's been a busy kind of funny funny a week or two, really, business wise as well as writing wise. Let's start with Void though. So I'm working on the 0.83 version, which will be an updated rules set. Mark and Jeff and some other boys have sent me some stuff. Mark and Jeff, there's a whole bunch of stuff there that I'm going to be going through. Haven't really got round to it, and I kind of feel like that's because my brain is still in the writing mode. I've got a bit of a cough, so apologise if that comes through a little bit. But I haven't got round to doing those corrections yet, and I feel like once I start putting the tables into the version, the new level 4 tables, which I haven't finished writing yet, and it's an interesting thing. Once I finish writing it, I will send it out, but I feel like that's going to be next week now. They'll come together, level 4 and the updated rule set, and then they will slot together. I feel like that rule set will be pretty much as close as you can get to the finished article without a little bit of tweaking. But the tables obviously will then still need to come. And so I've been writing level 4 tables, and I'm over half done. But I think it's an interesting process with writing sci-fi. Talahar says, I still haven't played Freeway Fighter, but I know a couple of regard that. I know a couple in that regard. There are Car Wars game books. Joe Dever's Freeway Warrior series. That stuff is my jam. Yeah, the Joe Dever Freeway Warrior series. I wish it was on here. I'd love to be able to play that live on the screen. That would be fantastic. Blue Eyed Geek, how you doing? Good to see you. So yeah, it's writing sci-fi is, you have to, I find personally, as I got the Fighting Fantasy Fest t-shirt on for today, you have to dig a little bit deeper. You're creating you're not drawing from an acknowledged pool of creatures and monsters. You have to expand the narrative yourself and come up with a set of an identity for the foe for each level, which before you could just say monsters and you could pull out minotaurs and stuff like that. You wouldn't have any hassle. It would be pretty straightforward for dungeon, and there's a certain expectation. In sci-fi, you're doing it all from scratch, so on some level, I mean, I enjoy that. I enjoy doing that, so it's not a problem. But it does take a little bit longer sometimes, especially if you know there are other things getting in the way slightly. It has been the Easter holidays, so there have been more people around, more things going on. My mum came down for a couple of days, so it's been a funny couple of weeks. So very mixed, and I'm entering into a stable period again, where I'm going to be have more focus. But I've made good progress. I've done a lot of writing, you know, and we're well on the way, and I'm feeling pleased with where it is at the moment. So that is all very good. We've had a few other things. So we've got the new Patreon page. We talked about that last week. It's got over 130 members now. Most of those are free. It's just a simple thing. Sign up, and if you sign up, it's free, and you can sign onto my page for free. It's no issues whatsoever. There are other tiers, but the key thing is you can up that if you want to. But being part of that knowledge base, it's a good focus for news about DR games and what's coming, and going to be entering a period where we're developing the Wild West Marshal, and I'll be doing some behind the scenes stuff on the channel as we do that. So let's see how that plays out and see what people's reactions are to that. So that's good. That's the Patreon page. Just look up 2D6 Dungeon, and it's been a whole bunch of things with the stock levels. So we've had the dice out of stock on our shop for a while now, because that's the one thing we get printed in China, and there was the Chinese New Year, so there was a slight delay on that. But if people are interested in dice, then that is there for you. You get a little pouch with your dice. Just so you know, it's worth telling people, because I've had a few people say to me, Toby, when are the dice going to be back? And they're back. They're back in town. We've also, the shop has taken up more time than normal this week, because we've had a problem with our PayPal integration on the site, which, oh boy, keeping everything up to date on an online store is a pain in the butt. It really is. So we have to keep updating stuff, new software. Sometimes it doesn't quite update, or the integration doesn't work, and so we've had all sorts of issues with the PayPal over the last week, and it's been a real headache, very stressful, because what PayPal does is it basically says in your account, it tells you how much you're making clearly. All the little things add up. They certainly do. Flipping PayPal. Now I do love PayPal. It shows you how much you're earning on PayPal, but then if things quieten down and you get technical issues, it then starts to tell you how much money you're losing, which is very stressful. Anyway, I think we've largely got it. We've largely got it fixed, but there's still a few little bugs and bits and pieces that are a pain in the butt. And then we've got the build up to the UK Games Expo, which is coming at the end of May. So we're like 5 weeks away from that now, something like that, 5.5 weeks, which is fantastic. We always love that. I'll be doing a live stream from the expo, which is we just love doing the expo, and it kind of heralds as well when Jo finishes her job at the school and comes into the business more full time. So although she'll be doing a little bit of swimming teaching still, so that it happens around about the same time. So the business takes a real step up from the UK Games Expo and then beyond. So which is very exciting for us. Yeah, you just never know. You never know, Jeff. It might happen this year. It might not. We'll see. We want to get across to Gen Con, that's for sure. I don't know whether you fancy going to Gen Con at some point. We'd love to come across to California. We will. Jo knows. She's got it in there. So that's coming up. So we have to check stock levels, keep on top of that, and make sure we've got enough stock for that. So we're ordering new products and getting them coming through. That takes time. We've got to store it, move it. We've got a storage unit where we put stuff. And so that's kind of logistics of the business as well that get in the way of things. But it's also highlighted to us that we have quite a few what you might call seconds. Is that a term that you use in America? So seconds being stuff that is either printed incorrectly or damaged on delivery. Yeah, I doubt I'll make it this year. Tyler says 2026 turned out to be interesting times for me in the Chinese curse meaning. Hope it wasn't too bad, Talaha. I'm looking forward to Expo. I have tickets to see Sir Ian Livingstone on the Saturday. Well, I will be seeing you there then, David. I mean, I'm not seeing Sir Ian Livingstone on the Saturday, but I'll be on my stall. So I'll be keeping an eye out for you. No doubt you'll spring up behind me when I'm serving a customer. Oh man, sorry to hear that, Talaha. So no, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're one man down this year. Greg, my brother's not going to be doing it with us this year. He's taking a break. But we've also got Georgina is going to be coming in, Joe's sister. She's going to be working a day, at least a day. So we'll see. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, as I was saying, it's made for us. We've got a lot of seconds. So what we did 2 weeks ago, is I set up an eBay account, an official eBay account for DR Games, because we were thinking about how can we get rid of these seconds. And we took seconds with us to the UK Games Expo last year. None of it sold. Nobody wants to buy seconds at a stall. You want to buy new products unless they're really cheap and they're figures, and you want to buy those. So we thought maybe a good way of getting rid of products that are just slightly damaged is through eBay. So I started putting stuff up on eBay. It's a slow process, but then I also thought eBay might be a great way of doing some auctions for charity. I'm a big supporter of the Woodland Trust here in the UK, and I think what we'll do, once I put as many of the items as I can up on eBay, I will do some auctions of a couple of bits of artwork, and all the money will go to the Woodland Trust. And I believe it's a pretty simple thing you do is when you put the product up, you select a charity, and all the money then is just directed to that charity once the auction finishes. And we can do like an auction night where, like on a Thursday night, I'll time the auctions to finish maybe at 10, 10:15, 10:30, or maybe 10:15, 10:30, and then we can watch the auctions come in. Hopefully they will sell, and we can raise a little bit of money for our preferred charity, the Woodland Trust. So that is the plan. So that's going to be a nice thing to do, and who knows where that will go. And there may well be other original art and bits and pieces to be sold through eBay, which would fit there better than on our main site, where you're not going to want to kind of kind of filter through a bunch of slightly damaged products on our main site. So we've got a big stack in the corner, and it'd be nice to be able to shift some of that along. So I don't know what people think about that, but that's kind of on the card. So there's a few things. Now that's about it, really. That's a sort of summing up. I've made a few notes so that I could cover everything. I think it's a good way to start a stream with some news, unless I'm doing a total stream about thanks, Jeff, about 2-6 Void. So that's basically where we're at with things this week. There's definitely we're entering into a more focused period, and I will be hopefully having the 0.83 version ready next week. That is the plan. Right, so we can have a look at the Crypt of the Sorcerer. So I don't know a huge amount about this particular book. This is the original cover, as far as I remember, and not one of these changed covers. I don't think I have this one. Just check. 26. Oh, I do. Oh, yeah. I do have it. Yes. I do have it here, look. Crypt of the Sorcerer. Now this one cost me £13.50 to buy that. That's about $16. John Sibic has illustrated this one, and it is actually written by Ian Livingstone, Sir Ian. It was first published in 1987, and this is a first edition. It's got it hasn't got the green across the top, this one, and it's pretty good. It's not too bad, actually. It's got not a bad colour on here. It's always a way to judge these. The spine's a little bit precious, but the illustrations in this I know are fantastic. Okay, so we're going to get some great illustrations. Hopefully they've got the originals in there. If they haven't, I can always pull them up through the book. It's nice to have the book. Sorry, I've got a bit of an itchy nose. One sec. Right, hopefully that will do it. Right, okay. Crypt of the Sorcerer. Now, there's no weird noises in the background or anything like that, is there? It all sounds pretty good. Ah, okay. The long dead sorcerer, Razak, has been reawoken and is poised to fulfill his promise of death and tyranny. The forces of chaos at large across the Alancia, and it seems that they are all pitted against you. For it is up to you to battle against the odds, to find the only weapon to which Razak is vulnerable, to arm yourself with protections against his awesome powers, and to face him in his lair, the Crypt of the Sorcerer. Here we go. That beautiful painting on the front is by Les Edwards. Now he's done some very good art. Old Les Edwards. He is a very experienced artist. In fact, what book did he do? This one's hard as nails. Oh, damn, says Steve's books always seemed a bit less brutal. I totally agree with you. And John Sibic is the interior artist. Should we read it? Let's read it. Here we go. All right. That looks like a John Sibic illustration there. That dragon. Yes, it is fantastic. It says on the back of the book that it's him. So we're good. Crypt of the Sorcerer is a Fighting Fantasy game book. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, go easier on me. Yeah, we're fine with that. We'll just do Adventurer. Let's roll for Stamina. That will do. 20 Stamina. Skill. Ooh, look at that. Roll a 6. And luck. Oh dear. Let's continue. Not very lucky. That could be, it could be detrimental. Chalice is a small town lying on the banks of Silver River at the base of Moonstone Hills. It has grown from being merely a cluster of cabins and huts to its present size, mainly because it became an important trading centre for prospectors seeking gold in the hills. It was the first safe haven for merchants who had travelled west from the flatlands on their way to Silverton. In Chalice, they could rest and do business without fear of attack. There are plenty of inns and places of entertainment, and it used to be among the most boisterous towns in Alancia. But now, as you look out the window of your upstairs bedroom at the Lion Inn, there is no sign of merriment. For 3 weeks the skies have been dark and menacing. People recently arriving Chalice from the east have told of pestilence, plague and disease, famine moving ever closer to the west. Only yesterday a story spread like wildfire through the town that someone had discovered where the source of evil lay. An elf, flying south on his giant eagle over the southern edge of Moonstone Hills, noticed a deep fissure in the ground, out of which rose a putrid-smelling vapour. All around the fissure the grass was blackened and the trees were stunted and leafless. As he flew over the fissure, the elf said he saw a scorched and withered hand rise out of the gap, its claw-like index finger pointing up at the eagle. An energy bolt shot up from the tip of the finger and burned a hole straight through the poor creature. It crashed to the ground, but the elf escaped with his life and walked to Chalice to tell the tale. You are a friend of the old wizard Yaztromo, who lives on the edge of the dark wood forest, and you decide to visit him and relate the elf's tale. Now, in the now familiar dusky light of day, you spur your horse northwards to Yaztromo's tower, and before nightfall you reach the overgrown path that leads to it. You dismount quickly, stride up to the huge oak door, and ring the brass bell that hangs in the stone archway. There is no reply, but suddenly you are tapped on the shoulder and you whirl around, reaching for your sword. There'll be no need for that, grunts the old man who stands before you, shaking his finger in admonishment. What are you doing here, anyway, disturbing my peace and quiet? I haven't laid eyes on you for over a year, and now you just turn up unannounced, walk straight through my herb garden, and ring my bell long enough to wake the dead. Well, what do you want? You smile to yourself while you watch the grumpy old wizard display his usual hospitality. And what's so funny? He asks. Your expression immediately changes, and Yaztromo frowns when he sees the concerned look on your face. I think we should go upstairs, so that you can tell me what is troubling you. I presume something is troubling you, as I am sure you wouldn't visit me for any other reason, and I can guess that it has something to do with the infernal dark sky. When you have finished telling Yaztromo the elf's tale, he remains sitting silently in his old oak chair, his face as sombre as a grave. At last he speaks, sighing with every word. Then my worst fears are realized. The necromancer has risen. Those fools, their greed might now bring an end to life in Alancia, unless... Blimey, it's a long intro. Sorry, guys. Completely puzzled by Yaztromo's mutterings, you ask him to explain As if describing a horrible nightmare, Nostromo recounts the legend of the evil necromancer Razak, who threatened Alancia 100 years ago. Although he first learned his skill as an apprentice to a lawful wizard, Razak was attracted early on in life by the dark power of evil. He realized he could become a great sorcerer. He who would one day be able to command everyone to obey him. He had no desire or intention to use his magic to help Alancia. He wanted the kingdom to be brought to its knees. He travelled to a remote part of eastern Alancia, and there he practiced his arcane acts. I think that should be arts. He quickly progressed through the levels of dark magic from lowly apprentice to wizard, then sorcerer, so that at last his powers were so great that he became a necromancer, having spent the last 40 years in solitude. Hold your horses. Razak then sent messages to all the nobles of Alancia, demanding that they acknowledge him as their ruler. At first they ignored him, for none had heard of him. Razak took umbrage, and in retaliation brought plague and pestilence to the nobles' provinces, giving them until the next full moon to recognise his leadership. Many warriors offered to try to slay Razak, and many died in the attempt. But one brave man by the name of Kull succeeded and saved Alancia. He owned a sword which he found in the Moonstone Hills, gripped by a skeletal hand rising from a mist-covered lake, across which he was sailing a raft. Okay. Kull was mesmerised by the sword's magnificent beauty. He immediately wanted it for his own and reached out for it. The skeleton made no attempt to prevent him and simply slipped down into the muddy depths of the lake as soon as he released the sword. Kull was so overwhelmed by the sword that nothing else mattered to him. Thank you for that, Jeff. He steered his raft to the shore and began testing his new weapon. He discovered that nothing could dull its edge, and that he could cut through plate mail armour with ease. He did not realise that the sword had once belonged to Razak, and was the only weapon in the whole world, with the power to slay him. Razak, in order to become a necromancer, had to relinquish all weapons, but there was no power strong enough to destroy his cursed sword. To try to rid himself of the sword, Razak threw it into the lake, but it rose to the surface in the grip of the skeleton. For years the skeleton clutched the sword until Kull caught sight of it and took it for himself, and so a twist of fate took the invincible Kull to Razak, and Razak was slain at the hand of Kull by the sword that had once been his own. Phew! But the moment Razak was slain, Kull's flesh fell from his bones and lay in a pile of dust around his skeletal feet. Razak's magic had condemned him to an eternal nightmare as a skeleton until he released the sword. He seized a hooded robe and fled into Moonstone Hills, and it is said that to this day he drifts constantly across the same lake on his raft, clutching the sword, unable to rest until someone takes it from him. Razak's body was placed in a stone sarcophagus and entombed in a fissure in the southern hills. The crypt was sealed by a lawful sorcerer who decreed that it must remain unopened for 110 years, otherwise the necromancer would rise with a host of undead to destroy all life. I can only assume, concludes Nostromo with a deep sigh, the treasure hunters found the necromancer's crypt and opened it unknowingly. Razak must be destroyed before it is too late. Oh, but it's going to be so difficult. We'll need to find Razak's sword and a number of talismans and amulets that will protect you from the necromancer's magic. I trust You'll volunteer for the mighty task? Slowly you nod your head, although your brain is still spinning from Yaztroma's tale of Razak and poor Kull. No kidding. Wow. Ooh. Good, continues Yaztroma. Now, don't worry about the sword. I won't let you become a skeleton. Just bring it back here, and in the meantime, I'll be calling on a few people who can help us. There is no time to waste. You must find the Lake of the Moonstone Hills. Rest well tonight, and leave at first. What little there is. Right. So, So, you know, there are some particularly unoriginal things about this story, aren't there? The sword in the lake, and the skeletal hand holding the weapon. He assumes that some treasure hunters found the crypt and opened it. That's a big assumption. Razak just wanted to bring the kingdom to its knees. Doesn't seem to have any kind of... Was there any kind of revenge involved here? Maybe these things we will find out as we go through. Why? What was Razak's motivation? Just greed, just power? Doesn't say he wants treasure. Anyhow, let's move on in. Now turn over. All right. You are woken from a nightmare in which undead creatures attack you with swords by Yaztromo tapping you on the shoulder. Time to get up. It's almost dawn, he says. Time to get up. It's almost dawn, he says in a sleepy voice. Within 20 minutes, you are outside and mounted on your horse. Yaztromo smiles, ever optimistic in the face of danger, and hands you a small glass vial. Healing potion, he explains. Even enough for 5 tots. The healing potion will restore 4 stamina points each time it is drunk. That'll be in the bottom here. Healing potion down here. The old wizard then waves you as you gallop off, heading east towards Moonstone Hills in search of the lost lake. By midday, the hills rise up threateningly from the horizon, flanking you from the north and south, and you wonder how you will ever find this damn lake. By nightfall, you find yourself at the foot of the hills where Silver River flows out onto the windward plain towards Chalice. You decide to camp by the river and make a fire to keep you warm, and also to ward off any hunters of the night. The night passes without any incident, and in the morning you wake feeling hungry. After eating bread and cheese from your backpack, you climb on to your horse and decide which way to head. If you wish to wade across the river and ride east into the hills, or you would rather follow the river north up into the hills. Wading across the river is never something that attracts me, to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to go north. I agree with you, Jeff. You climb steadily up into the hills, following the winding river. After an hour or so, the ground becomes very marshy, and your horse has to struggle to keep moving forward. It appears that part of the river often breaks its banks and floods the valley. If you wish to keep heading north, you'd rather cross the river and ride east into the hills. Right, well, we do need to go to the hills, don't we? I think we're going to keep going north in the hope that there's a bridge. Let's do this. Ooh, look at this lovely illustration here. Wow. Ahead you see movement in the tall, wet grass and become aware of a loud buzzing noise. 6 large, mottled black harpoon flies suddenly rise into the air, each the size of a pigeon. Although their heads appear to have an elongated proboscis, it is actually a poisoned, needle-like spike which harpoon flies can shoot at a target. They can only grow one needle at a time. It takes a week for the needle to grow back after it's been fired. The poison paralyzes the harpoon fly's victims, and female harpoon flies then lay eggs under their skin so that maggots will have plenty of meat to feed on when they hatch. Fantastic. Just fantastic. I reckon north. Okay. All right. Right. Oh, here we go. One needle hits. Fantastic. We'll go with that. 1 or 2 needles. 3 for 5. The strong poison acts quickly, but fortunately, your constitution can cope with a small amount. Your limbs feel stiff, but do not become paralyzed. You lose 4 stamina points. You urge your horse on, cutting your sword through the air to ward off the hovering flies which are waiting for their prey to fall, but you manage to escape from them. And as soon as you feel safe, you swallow a tot of Yaztromo's healing potion to counter the effect of the poison. You immediately start to feel better, but you do not regain any stamina points. Relieved to be past the marsh, you continue your trek into the hills. So have a quick look here. So, it still says no. Wait, no. I mean, I guess I could. Let's do it. There we go. Why not? Okay. You wind your way slowly north, and 2 hours later, notice a cave halfway up the hill on the other side of the valley. If you wish to cross the river to look at the cave, roll. If you'd rather continue following the river. Oh, I just feel like, there's so much stuff on the other side of the river that I'm not. Have we got a map here? Is there a map? There's a map. Oh, okay. Yaztromo's town, northwards, harpoon flies. Okay. All right. Okay. Do I go for the cave? That is the question. Follow the river. The terrain between the hill and the river soon becomes very difficult for your horse to cross, with boulders, fallen trees and tangled undergrowth, forcing a slow walk. On the other side of the river, the ground is much better, so you steer across the river and make fast progress. 284. An hour later, you decide that you are travelling too far north and must head east if you are ever to find the lost lake. At a suitable point, you turn east away from the river and ride up into the hills. Sometime later, you catch sight of a thin plume of smoke rising up from the other side of the nearest hill to your left. If you wish to get course, we're going to go and see what's causing the smoke. Wow, lovely picture. Look at that one there. What number was this? Does it say on here? 33. 33. Just want to see if it's the same. I assume it is, yes. Yeah, lovely picture. As you ride over the crest of the hill, your question is quickly answered. The plume of smoke is rising from the dying embers of a wooden hut, burnt to the ground. An old gold miner with an arrow in his stomach is lying motionless, propped up against a barrel. An axe lies by his side. Do you wish to see if he's still alive? Yeah, we sure do. Look at that lovely picture of the smoke. Fantastic. They really want me to cross that river. They certainly did, Jeff. You press your ear against the old man's chest. He is alive, but only just. You try to give him water from the barrel, but he coughs and groans and is unable to drink because of his stomach wound. Suddenly his eyes open a little, and he starts to speak in a laboured whisper. Orcs, 4 of them. Orcs, 4 of them. Took my gold and food. Headed east from here. Be careful of ambush. Look inside barrel. Take the... But he never finishes his sentence, and his last words are lost in his dying breath. After burying the old man, you decide to tip up the water barrel. Well, not before drinking your fill, gaining 1 stamina point. See? Didn't need to drink that potion. When you investigate the empty barrel, you notice that it has a false bottom. You prise it open with your sword and find a gold nugget worth 10 gold pieces, a knife, a phial of clear liquid labelled holy water, and a translucent crystal hanging from a gold chain. Wow, that's quite a few things. After putting the nugget and the phial in your pocket, placing the knife in your belt, you examine the strange crystal. If you wish to put the chain around your neck, why the hell not, eh? Let's do it. You are now wearing a crystal of sanity. This talisman will protect you from any assaults on your sanity. Taking heed of the miner's warning, you turn your horse southeast to avoid the orcs. Not a bad outcome there, that is for sure. As you ride along, you gaze up at the sombre sky, scanning it for the winged killers that might swoop down to attack. There are no flying creatures to be seen, but an unnerving silence sends a shiver down your spine. You look around for signs of orcs, but see nothing. Suddenly your horse whinnies and rears up on its hind legs. Roll 2 dice. If the total is the same or less than your skill. There we go. Keeping a firm grip on the reins, you're able to stay on the saddle. Suddenly 3 evil-looking creatures materialise as if by magic to ambush you. Ooh. Chameleonites? The stone-coloured chameleonites bound forward on 2 legs with strange jerky movements. Their bulbous eyes and long tongues protrude from their reptilian heads, and their bodies are covered with scales. But they are humanoid in shape, and each carries a stone club with which to attack you. As you are on horseback, your skill is increased by 2 for the fight. Look at these boys. Wow. That is some... These big old wet tongues. Reminds me of a scene out of The Boys, that does. Right, let's fight. Okay, they don't stand a chance against me. They really don't. Not a chance. I mean, I don't even have to double click the dice here. This is just really straight, really easy. Because I rolled good for the skill there. I did not see this coming. Defeat the first... Yes. Wow, okay. I don't think we're going to have... Oh, didn't really mean to do that, but... Yeah, that's a chance. I'm just on my horse. Big, wet, slappy tongues are coming at me. And I'm like, steady on. Steady on, old chap. Keep your tongue away from me, sir. Okay. No, I don't think they can actually be. I don't think they can. I think you should just be able to automatically win the fight if it's excellent. You defeat these scaly reptilians. Fantastic. You look down at the lifeless bodies of the chameleonites and recall a legend you were told once. It is said that the blood of these rare creatures gives a human being the power of perfect camouflage just once in his or her life, but it is also said that sometimes there are terrible side effects. Okay. We gotta do it. Down the face, just like that. You tentatively dab some blood on yourself Wait to see how you feel. Wait to see if you feel any ill effects. Rolled a 5. I think that's okay. 10 minutes later, 10 minutes pass and nothing terrible happens to you. You realise that you are immune to the side effects of the Chameleon Knight's blood. You gain 1 luck point. Thank you. Does it take me above my threshold? I don't think so. Chameleon's blood will camouflage you for 1 time. There we go. Nice. In high spirits, you turn your horse east. Turn to 180. At the bottom of the next hill, you see that the ground is littered with the large bones of unknown creatures. Some are piled high, while others are scattered over a wide area. Suddenly you notice a small black cloaked and hooded figure scurrying from behind one pile of bones to another. "Go away! Go away!" he shouts in a voice full of fear. If you wish to approach him, if you'd rather ride around the Valley of Bones, we're going to say hello to this guy and tell him we're okay. As you approach the pile of bones, you are assailed by a salvo of bones frantically thrown by the little man. I'd rather call out and tell him that you mean him no harm. "We're not heightist here, thank you." The little man stops throwing the bones and asks you why you are trespassing on his ground. You reply that you are on an important quest and that you must find the lost lake. "I'm just a simple man, known as the Bone Keeper," the little man says in a sad voice, "and I do not know of any lost lake. I sought through these bones and carved some of them into magical rings. I would very much like a new knife for my work and would gladly give you one of my rings in exchange. If you possess a knife, which as it happens I do, would you like to exchange for a..." Of course I want a blimmin' magic ring, and I'm not going to attack a guy who carves magic rings, am I? Let's do it. You hand the Bone Keeper the knife. He examines it carefully, grunts in satisfaction, and unties a leather pouch which is hanging around his neck. He hands you a ring made of highly polished bone, which has a full moon carved into its surface. "Protect you from werewolves, that will," he says very proudly. "Just point it at the werewolf and say 1, 2, 3, turn and flee. That's all." You thank the Bone Keeper for the ring, bid him farewell, and ride out of the Valley of Bones. 1, 2, 3, turn and flee. Okay, it rhymes. Remember that. Hey Paul, how you doing? Good to see you. Alright, let's have a look here then. I wish they would release the sorcery books on this platform. There's so much more to keep track of in all 4 books. And all 4 books affect each. And all 4 books affect each other. Yeah. I wish they did, and maybe they will. I don't know what the situation is, but maybe it's the Steve Jackson element of it. There seem to be a lot of Ian Livingstone books on here. Right. Leaving the valley behind, you urge your horse up the next hill until you reach a pile of dark granite boulders. The largest boulder appears to have some words chiselled into it, most of which are hidden by moss. If you wish to dismount and examine the words, let's do that. Why wouldn't you? You scrape the moss away and read the words of a rhyme. To go beyond a granite door, press the numbers 184. You memorise the rhyme without your horse and remount your horse and ride on. 184. Okay. I've made a note. At the bottom of the hill you see a narrow stream running north to south across your path. When you arrive at the edge, your horse stops and puts its head down to drink. If you wish to release the reins to allow your horse to drink, let's do it. If you'd rather force it to cross this, let's do this. Let's do that. Yes. Your horse drinks long and hard at the cool stream. You decide to do likewise, as you believe the water to be pure in the hills. You gain 1 stamina point. When you think your horse has rested enough, you remount and cross the stream. Oh! Oh! What have we got here? Goblins. You reach the brow of the next hill and look eastwards, into the distance. All you can see is a never-ending range of hills stretching out into the gloom of the dark sky. Suddenly you hear the sound of galloping hoofs and shrill war cries piercing the silence. You turn to look behind you and see a group of goblins charging up the hill on horses, riding bareback. One of them carries a banner and shrunken heads swinging from it. There are 4 goblins in the raiding party, and you must quickly decide what to do. If you were to charge down the hill to attack them, let's do it. Charge! You manage to maneuver your horse so that you can fight the goblins one at a time. Here we go. 5 skill. No match. It's no match again. So we get some good loot from this. How many were there? Was there 2, 3? This guy's got a little bit more stamina, but it does not make any difference. 4. Oh man. Okay, here they come. I guess if my skill was maybe 10, they might get the occasional hit in. But my skill is 12, so they're not at 4, as you say, Jeff. Oh, didn't. You have to click it to get it going again, and that's the same way to re-roll the die. Okay. Lulling you into full sense of security. Yep. It might well be. Something terrible is going to happen. You take down the goblin riders. A search through the canvas bags belonging to the goblins yields 2 gold pieces, some stale cheese, and a cracked mirror in a silver frame. You pack away the gold and the mirror and examine the cheese. If you want to eat it, if you'd rather throw it away and ride east. I think we're going to do that. You ride over the top of the hill again and down the other side. At the bottom, you see a small wood at the end of the valley to the north. If you wish to ride towards the wood, or ride up the next hill. Let's do the wood. I like woods. The Woodland Trust. You trot between tall, gnarled trees into thick undergrowth. It is dark and eerie in the wood, with what little light there is outside virtually shut out by the crowded treetops. You pull your horse to a halt and have a strong feeling that you're being watched. Keeping a constant watch all around you, you urge your horse to walk on. That way. Keep going. Ooh. Ooh. What have we got here? As you ride slowly through the wood, you see the leaves of a bush move. You cannot convince yourself that it was ruffled by the wind. You draw your sword and turn your horse towards the bush. A hideous creature suddenly jumps out and stares at you with sunken eyes as dark as the earth itself. The creature is humanoid in shape, but with dark, crusty skin like bark, covered in moss and fungus and crawling with bloated insects. It has a lifeless expression on its crumpled face, Suddenly the wood demon's arms uncurl and extend like long vines and try to pull you from your horse. No way, bud. You fend off the arms with your sword and then lunge forward to attack the demon of the woods. We'll do this. Fight. What has he got? Skill 9. Okay. Yeah. Now we're talking. Ooh. Demon. Okay. Yeah, we like that. Oh, demon, you stand no chance. There we go. Nice. Wood demon. If you hack the demon to bits, turn to 89. If you wish to tie your horse up to a tree and trudge through the thick undergrowth to find the demon's lair. Ooh, we're doing that. You spend some minutes cutting your way through the bushes and brambles, but fail to find a lair. Perhaps a demon had no resting place. You have just decided to give up and return to your horse when something catches your eye in a pile of leaves. You brush away the leaves with your sword and discover the skeletal remains of a human wearing chainmail armour, no doubt a victim of the wood demon. You see that the bony fingers of its right hand are clutching a silver rod which is about half a metre in length. A fine helmet lies next to the skull and a perished leather backpack is close by. Will you examine the silver rod? Well, we're after magic, aren't we? I think we're after magic to defeat Razak. So I'm kind of inclined to think we should look at the silver rod. Can we look at them all? The rod, looks like we can look at them all. Maybe. Yes. The rod is hollow at one end, as a screw thread inside it. You decide that there is another part of the rod which is either lost or destroyed. You notice the number 37 etched into the solid end of the rod, but do not understand its significance. Rod 37. Okay. You put the rod into your backpack before deciding what to do next. Let's have a look at the helmet, shall we? Backpack. Let's do the backpack, says Mark. The backpack contains 4 gold pieces, a candle, a rolled up parchment scroll. You place the gold and the candle in your backpack and look down inside the tubular scroll. You see there is some writing on it. If you wish to open the scroll and read the writing, if you'd rather leave the scroll where it is, you may, if you have not done so already, examine the rod. You may leave the scroll and try on the helmet. Let's read the scroll. The scroll relates the tale of the fabled Gargantis beast and its miraculous horn, although there is no obvious proof that the creature exists. Rumours about it have been circulating for centuries. It is said to have been a lumpy green hide, and looks like a cross between a pit fiend and a flesh golem, but with the addition of a single horn in the centre of its forehead. I've seen that Conan film. The Gargantus horn is said to possess many magical and mysterious powers, which it would retain even if severed from the gargantuous head. Okay. Gargantus head. Anyone in possession of the horn, upon wielding it, would realise these powers. You have heard of this beast, but are amazed to read on the scroll that one such creature is purported to dwell in the hollowed tunnels of the western flatlands. Perhaps the poor adventurer who owned the scroll was on his way to the flatlands when he met an untimely death in the woods. You put the scroll in your backpack and consider what to do next. 37. Yeah, I've written that down. Rod had 37, didn't he? Right, try on the helmet. I feel like, is this going to be good? Okay, let's do it. Oh man. The helmet fits tightly on your head and is quite uncomfortable. You decide to take it off, but find that it is possible to remove it. You lose 1 luck point. Damn. You have the misfortune to be wearing a helmet of aging, and you immediately age 30 years. Your body feels tired and more feeble than before. 5 stamina points and 2 skill points are deducted. With this new problem to preoccupy you, you consider your options. That is rough. There might have been a thing somewhere back there that said don't try the helmet on. He was wearing it. God damn it. Okay. So I'm approximately the same age I am now. So I am at the age of 50. Feeble. 5 stamina points and 2 skill points deducted. God damn it. Alright. Much to your relief, your horse is still tied up on the to the tree and appears to be contentedly munching the grass. You waste no more time, mount your horse and set off with an aching back. Oh man, look at that. 10. Oh, I've still got I can still increase them. That's pretty bad. I might well have one of these. Yes, let's use that. Oh, it has actually got on here on the notes, silver 37 etched. Okay, good. Got some treasure as well. Ever watchful for hiding attackers, you ride slowly through the wood. You soon come to the edge of a small clearing where the ground is covered with globe-like fungi, which are deep purple in colour. Let's ride round the fungi, I think. After riding around the clearing, you notice to your relief that at last the trees are beginning to thin, and soon you're out of the wood. You soon reach some tree-covered hills. You decide not to take the risk of being ambushed, and you turn your horse right to head east once again. The rest of the day passes without incident, and without sight of the lost lake either. In the fading light, you choose a suitable place to camp down for the night, making sure that your horse is securely tethered to a nearby tree. You settle down to sleep, but are woken in the middle of the night by a howling cry. Your eyes open to see a full moon, and in an instant you are standing sword in hand. You feel your heart beating fast as you strain your eyes and ears. Suddenly you hear the sound of a twig snapping. Then a low growl. You see a shadow move, and in the dim light recognise the thick brown hair, long fangs and bestial features of a werewolf. I thought werewolves had grey hair. If you're wearing a moon ring and you know how to use it, enter the number stated in the spell. Hang on a minute. Yeah, 184. That's what I've got down here. But wolves have grey hair, don't they? It's 123, not 184. Turn and flee. Exactly. 123. You are correct. if the spell number is correct, you point the moon ring at the werewolf and recite the words that the bone keeper told you. The werewolf howls in terror, turns and disappears into night to find another victim. Unable to sleep properly again, you spend a restless night thinking about the task ahead. As soon as it is light enough to see, you mount your horse and set off east once again. You climb the highest hill in order to get a better view, and can hardly believe your eyes. A lake, no more than 2 hours' ride away, lies in a valley to the southeast. With new heart and determination, you spur your horse towards it. Sorry, what's the link or platform to play this? It's on Steam. Vincent. Steam. Is it Vincent? Is that Vincent? And that is you, isn't it? Blue-eyed geek. Yeah, I knew it. Instinct. Right, what have we got here? Despite the dark skies, you notice a shadow travel swiftly across your path. You look up and see a winged creature with an eagle-like head and the body of a lion swooping down to attack you. It's a griffin. The creature has a bridle around its head, which is held by the rider, a wild-looking girl wearing animal skins. The barbarian girl has a griffin as her steed, an aggressive but loyal creature. Fight. Skill 8. Okay, we can do this. Yes, we can deal with that. Ah, she's got me once. Oh, look at that. We'll have that. It's a draw. A draw. Oh, we'll have that one. Oh yes. Comes plummeting down, crashes. Nice. Bring down the winged creature. In its death throes, the griffin soars up into the sky before plummeting to the ground like a stone some 200 meters away. You do not see the barbarian girl get up from the ground and assume that she is either injured or dead. Do you wish to ride over to investigate? Yes, we bloody well do. The girl lies in a contorted heap close to her griffin. Serves her right, I guess. There's no sign of life, and you wonder why she attacked you. Yes, why? Why? Perhaps the griffin was hungry and intended to eat horse flesh. The girl was armed with a sword and a shield. If you do not have a sword, you may take the girl's... No. The shield is circular and has a strange writing etched around the circumference. Yeah, we will take that. Let's take that one. We'll take the shield. Alright, you are in possession of a magical shield which dates back some 200 years. How do you know that? It has the unusual ability to defend its carrier from magically cast lightning bolts. Fantastic. It does, of course, defend against sharpened blades too. Named the Defender by its maker, it is certainly one of the finest shields in all Alancia. I never bloody get that right first time. You gain 1 skill point and 1 luck point. You sling it over your shoulder and ride off towards a lake. So, if this griffin girl had this shield, she must have been important. Surely that's got to make sense, isn't it? It's got it's got its date of manufacture stamped on it. Yeah, the bat has a little text. Made in. While riding down one of the last hills before the lake, you notice a rusty iron box lying at the base of a tree. If you wish to open it, of course we want to open it. Bloody hell, you force the box open by breaking the hinges with your sword. There's nothing inside except for a small clay doll. Or she stole it from someone important. You're not wrong, Jeff. Could be that, could be. Oh, Jeff and Mark, thanks for the emails. I've just had time to read through them, but I haven't had time to respond to them yet. So I appreciate it. A mini golem. Okay then, take it. By touching the clay golem, you trigger a magical reaction. The doll starts to grow and soon towers above you. The clay appearing soft and malleable, as though just dug out of the ground. The hulking monster steps awkwardly towards you, its club-like fists raised to attack. The clay golem stands between you and the horse, and you have no option but to battle it. If you are still wielding it, do you have a sword? Yes. Sword is poor weapon with which to fight a clay golem, and you will only inflict 1 damage. You must also defeat the clay golem in 14 rolls or less. This includes luck rolls in combat. Oh, it's one of these time. It's got 9, 14. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh boy. I think we did it. We did it. We did it, just about. Excellent. Woo! Take down the monstrosity. Golem rocks on its feet for a moment and then crashes to the ground like a falling tree. Its head splits open and inside you see a gold ring set with a large jewel plugged into the clay. If you wish to pull the ring, if you put the ring on your finger, I didn't do it for nothing. Let's do it. There's a strange iridescence given off by the jewel, but you are unable to trigger off any magical power. You shrug your shoulders in disappointment and ride off towards the lake. That may well have a function later. You nervously ride over the brow of the hill that leads down to the lake. Look at this lovely picture. We recognise this guy. It's Ken, isn't it? Ken? I don't think it's quite Ken. Could be Cull. You nervously ride over the brow of the hill that leads down to the lake. There is a deadly silence in the valley, and hardly a ripple breaks the surface of the dark, mist-covered water which stretches into the distance. You quickly scan the lake, but see no movement on it. You wait patiently for almost an hour, and then you catch sight of an object drifting slowly towards the western shore. You strain your eyes and see that it is undoubtedly a raft, and a robed figure is sitting on it. You spur your horse along the shore to the point where the raft is heading. As the raft drifts closer to the shore, you urge your horse into the cold lake and set eyes on the cursed skeleton of Kull, still gripping Razak's sword as it has done for 100 years. The skeleton of Kull sits motionless on the raft as you approach. You overcome your anxiety and reach out and take the sword from Kull. You hear a whispered sigh of joy, and watch the skeleton crumble into dust and disappear between the logs of the raft into the lake. After placing the dreaded sword in your belt, you ride off west towards Yaztromo's tower, unable to rid yourself of haunting thoughts of the terrible fate that may await you as keeper of Razak's sword. It's Ken. He's Carl's twin brother. Looks like a Colin to me. Nice one, Talahar. Nice one, Jeff. Nice one, guys. That feels like a really good place to leave it. The old throat's a little bit sore from reading, but it's also getting a bit late. Yeah. Oh, that actually, I really enjoyed that. Actually, that was a really, it was fun. Lots of kind of iconic moments drawn in. Nothing too original, I'll be honest with you, but fun. It's a kid's book. This one really is aimed at kids. This one. Sometimes you read them and there's got that edge of adult to them, like I think Freeway Warrior. Is it Freeway Warrior? Let's go back to the main. Let's go home. Freeway Fighter. That one is very much more adulty. Are these all Ian Livingstone? Steve Jackson. There you go. That's a few there. Okay. Awesome stuff. Right, so guys, I will I'm going to be posting some stuff to Facebook, but also to the Patreon page. I'm going to do another little behind the scenes video for patrons to look at there. That includes the free patrons as well. And I'm also going to be hopefully getting 0.83 out next week. Fingers crossed. I want to try and finish the text for Sunday and then give the guys a couple of days to look through it, and then make the changes and put the tables up, and we'll see how we go. And I need to make sure I do all the corrections for the core rules. So yeah, really great stuff. If you've got any questions, guys, let me know. If you haven't clicked the thumbs up and you've made it this far, you may as well do it now. And yeah, I will see you soon. Don't forget to post stuff on Facebook as well. We want to try and keep that going, and we want people to see that as a place. If they're new to the game, where they come, they'll see it's active and people are answering messages and stuff like that. So get in there and post some maps or ask some questions or whatever you want to do. Okay, guys, take care, and I will see you very soon.